She's black and white, and what she gonna do this time? I'm gonna have her, I'm not gonna give her up, she's mine. But tell me, can you help me please? There was no answer. 9 months later, homeless and afraid, a girl child came this way. Come on, baby, say hello, holy Moses. Love never ever felt so far away. Precious Lord, you said all you gotta do is call your name, and you'd bless the child, and she'll make her own way. The child was raised in a place called Hollis, Queens. But what she gonna do this life, living in a foster family? It was all about the black and white. She was a stranger, looking for familiar everywhere. She could hear the music play. Come on, baby, say hello, holy Moses. Love never ever felt so far away. Precious Lord, you said all you gotta do is call your name, and you'd bless the child, and she'll make her own way. Back in the days when I was growing up in Hollis, Queens, I reminisce when the Queen of Soul sang Carole King's You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Block parties blasted, boogie down productions, criminal-minded, you've been blinded. Destruction to the jukebox in my high school cafeteria. B-Bird ignited mass hysteria. I'm as free as a bird now. On Merrick Boulevard, a reggae pumped hard, pro-choice, not voice, but Chaka still became a superstar with Murder, She Wrote. Bloop, bloop, Murder, She Wrote. Na, na, na. I grew up hearing beats in a single note. Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, 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 boom, boom. Well, them that's got will have, and them that's not will lose. So Billy rang and sang it, still could read it in the morning news. But I'ma choose not to lose, and I'd rather sing the blues, cause when I know that I can feel to know what matters true. Boo, you're with me, you see me, you hear me. Would you rather close your eyes and just pretend that you don't even feel me? Or would electric music make you take a look around? Come on, baby, say hey, holy Moses, I've made a way.
Welcome to Face, and today I'm with Mark, and I'm sure by now you know this face. He was with us singing and with the guitar in few previous shows. Thank you for coming, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
And today we're going to talk about CeeLo and his message.
Yes.
So tell us.
Well, where should we start? CeeLo was an Argentinian thinker, writer, spiritual guide. Some refer to him as a sage.
Okay.
And his work and the things he spoke about covered a large
Influenced
spectrum,
a lot of people.
and a large spectrum of topics as well. So I was thinking on the way here, what would be the way to synthesize or get right to the heart of what he was about? And for me, I think it's what struck me about his work that kept coming through was the importance of combining personal and social change.
Yeah.
So you have, writings that are along the mystical line, along the, the consciousness line, and then you have a whole other set of writings and speeches that have to do with, transforming the communities we live in and expanding that out and, into the world at large. So you have a definite combination of the two factors, which in progressive circles a lot of time you see that,
It's
people,
either.
either or,
Exactly.
people are dead set on purifying themselves internally, and they don't want anything to do with the social. And then you have, the gung-ho activist types who don't want anything to do with all of that woo-woo-y stuff. Which is what I like about CeeLo's message is that it really gets, it's not afraid of, you know, combining the two of them, you know, and basically what CeeLo was saying, that is, in order to have deep change on a personal or on a social level, that these two things need to work together.
Together.
Yeah.
But it also, he has like a philosophical proposal in some ways. It's either, it's also a philosophy and also something you can apply in your daily life and in your way to work, in your way to see your own life. Well, how did you come about CeeLoism?
How did I come across it? I was quite young. I was 20 or 21.
Okay.
Let's see. Depressed, young man looking, searching for something, seeking. And I had just gotten into things like Joseph Campbell. I had seen Joseph Campbell's Power of Myth special on PBS, and he talked about, you know, the interconnection of different strains of thought and how you know, the similarities in different cultures and how they all sort of commingled.
Yeah.
And one of the thoughts I had watching that was, God, I wish I could find a way to participate in something that actualized this.
Exactly.
And you got to be careful what you ask for, because
you find it sometimes.
So my brother came to me at one point. It was like 1990 or 89, and he said.
He was in New York?
He was in New York, yes. He was living in the East Village. I was still in Long Island. My younger brother had moved out before me. And he said, there's this meeting of people, and they call themselves the movement, who would later become the humanist movement.
Exactly.
But at the time was the movement. And I said, that sounds ambiguous enough and mysterious enough. So I went down and yeah, it was just introduced at, I think it was, that particular meeting was a meeting of internal work, where we were looking at our formative landscape and trying to like get a gauge on how our past is influencing our present. So it started off with that, and that hooked me. There's something that really struck a chord with me.
Okay.
And then I found out about CeeLo. A lot of the texts were either written by him or influenced by him. And that was really where it started. You know, initially it was wanting to overcome suffering in myself.
Okay.
You know, it was about me, only me. And then I learned through the texts and the work that the humanist movement, and then what became the humanist movement was doing, that in order to really transform myself, I needed to pay attention to helping other people.
Yeah.
So that was the rope that pulled me out, you know, of the doldrums of the.
And that was kind of a new concept or a new idea for you, or how did it?
Yeah, I mean, a new concept. You mean the combining of the social with the? Yeah, I mean, I had come out of a you know, existentialist sort of self-absorbed, and you know, sort of tendencies and the movies I liked and the books I read. But this was a thing of, well, that's fine to work on yourself, but you're also we're gonna pull you out of that with a little bit of paying attention to your environment, your social environment. So
no, you wanted to present or maybe read some parts of CeeLo's message of the book itself.
Sure. Yeah, I was trying to think about. What angle to take, because obviously there's a lot. There's a broad spectrum of stuff.
It's a lot of books and a lot of different format of writing and
beautiful stuff about, I mean, you know, about mythology and the structure of consciousness. Very detailed, deep stuff. But I was thinking, what would be the best thing to, don't have much time, so what would be the best thing to present? And CeeLo, you know, before he passed away, he a few years before, he set in motion something called CeeLo's Message, which was a book, which included the book, the ceremonies, and the path. And I thought, well, if this is how CeeLo synthesizes his message, best to take something from that.
Exactly.
So the book is kind of long. well, it's actually
No, it's
it's
pretty
actually
short, yeah.
well short, but
you
I don't know if
cannot
we can
read
get
it
it
today.
in
No,
2
no,
minutes
no, you
and
don't have
42
time.
2 seconds. But the path is just a list of 10 or 15
Okay.
little quotes. So I'll just hit you with them.
Yeah.
Okay, the path. If you believe that your life will end with death, nothing that you think, feel, or do has any meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will end with incoherence and disintegration. If you believe that your life does not end with death, you must bring into agreement what you think with what you feel and what you do. All must advance toward coherence, toward unity. If you are indifferent to the pain and suffering of others, none of the help that you ask for will find justification. If you are not indifferent to the pain and suffering of others, in order to help them, you must bring your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions into agreement. Learn to treat others the way you would want to be treated. Learn to surpass pain and suffering in yourself, in those close to you, and in human society. Learn to resist the violence that is within you and outside of you. Learn to recognize the signs of the sacred within you and around you. Do not let your life pass by with asking yourself, who am I? Do not let your life pass by without asking yourself, where am I going? Do not let a day pass by without giving an answer to yourself about who you are. Do not let a day pass by without giving an answer to yourself about where you are going. Do not let a great joy pass without giving thanks internally. Do not let a great sadness pass without calling into your interior for the joy that you have saved there. Do not imagine that you are alone in your village, in your city, on the earth, or among the infinite worlds. And lastly, do not imagine that you are enchained to this space or this time. So that's the path suggested by Silo.
And to study as often as possible.
As often as possible, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's a I'm sorry.
No,
there's a spectrum of things there. You know, there's like the question, who am I?
Yeah.
You find that
that's
in
why
Buddhism.
I was saying then if you do it every day, the first day, I remember at some point we ask people, where are you going? So people say, I'm going to take the train, I got to take. So you have this level of answering the question. But
right.
if you, every day you're not going to repeat yourself, I'm going to take the train, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to. At some point you
right.
want to reach to a new level. And that's the very powerful.
Yeah, there are deeper ways to answer that question too.
Exactly.
Or even who am I? Well, one of the first answers, I'm Mark, and I do this job, and I was brought up here. Okay, well that's your story.
Yeah.
But who are you?
Exactly.
What do you mean who am I? My body and my thoughts?
And then you can start to.
And you can keep going too.
Yeah.
Are you your body and your thoughts?
We are almost done.
We're almost done. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about the parks.
Oh yes.
You have a minute.
I have a minute? Okay. Well, Silo inspired the humanist movement, which is no longer exists as a movement, but a lot of things flowered out of it. There were the Center of Cultures, the World Without Wars, even better, the Humanist Party, and that's the political stuff, that's
Community
the social
for Human
stuff.
Development.
And then there were these parks that were created, I don't know how many there are now, 60 or 70, all over the world, on almost every continent, and which are the Parks of Study and Reflection. There's one in Hudson Valley, New York, which I participate in. Yeah. And basically, a lot of meditation, internal work, working with others, and that would be the internal side of it. So those are the Parks of Study and Reflection.
Yeah.
And there's a silo.net. You can look
People
them up.
can find all the materials on silo.net.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you,
And
David.
then you can come anytime and sing, and then we will talk about the dance. Cool. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye.